Okay. Welcome everyone. Let start today's session. Okay. So let me share my screen. Yes. Good evening. Good evening, Padmaji. Good evening, Sally. Good evening, Chetanji.
Hello,
Everyone.
sir.
Yes. Uh, just a moment. Uh, you want to Alka? I think that she's Alka. Okay. Okay. I rename you. Okay. So we continue our session.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Today we will finish it. This data preparation. The last portion remains here. And yesterday we have seen that with this. Just a moment. I turn on the fan. Now it's okay. So we will use some other functions. Up to here we have completed. No, we have completed up to here. We have meted new column speed is equal to distance over time. Up to here we have finished. I remove this all. I just run the library deployer and these flights and read this. Okay. Up to here we have finished yesterday. Okay, and I'll show you this result speed we have got. Here we are deployer approach, create a table group by destination. Now we see how to group and summarize the thing. Okay. When we use the group by, then we use summarize function also. We have a various destination, as you know that. I will show you here again. If you see that flights, if I run only, so you will see there that there are so many destinations we have. Uh, Here it is not we are getting. So I will show you in the view. So if you see the destination, we have these destinations we have. So I will show you how many destinations are there. So I just first find the unique for FLIGH. flights dollar destination. So there you see we have destination like that. This is 113, 14, 15, 116 destination we have. But we have 227,496 observations. And multiple times these destinations have we have in this data frame. And I want to group by the destination first. As per the destination, I group it. And then I summarize the average delay. I have a column, arrival delay. So through that arrival delay, I will find out the mean of that. There are somewhere there is a NA is also there. So I am writing this attribute NA dot RM equal to true. And I find out the mean of the arrival delay, or that is the average delay. This new column I will get with the destination column and average delay column. So I am group it by the destination and summarize with the mean of arrival delay. That is the summary I am getting for this group. Okay. So I will show you first and then I will apply some other functions also there. You see, this is the table 116. I have 13, 14, 15, 16. Why we have 116 destinations, so we have grouped it. And we are getting the arrival delay of all the destinations, average arrival delay. I could use the sum also. Instead of mean, I could find out the sum, the total, and I run it. So it is the sum of the hours, total sum of the hours. I could write anything. I could write the minimum arrival delay. Here, sorry, I have written here. I have to write here, not here. In the script, I have to write minimum function I could use. I'm not changing this name, but I'm showing you. Basically, we have find out the mean. It is the minimum. The flight came before, this came before, this the 4 minutes later in this place. The minimum 4 minutes. I could use the maximum also. This is the maximum delay in each location. It is not in the dplyr library. It is in the hflights library. I will show you that. The data name, the same data name is of the package name also the same. This library hflights. Padmaji and experience.
It is not there, sir. Even in the data list, HFlight's data is not available.
No, library. You have to install it first. Okay, I will show you how to install. You go to the packages and click on the install and write hflights first. Got it? And then you install it. And after that, you call the library hflights. And then you will get this data. Got it?
Okay, sir.
Try this. Don't worry. Try this. Previously, we have seen the select and filter and mutate. Now we are getting function like group by and then summarize it by the mean of and whatever you could use the function. So we have written here the average underscore delay because we are getting the mean. Does that make sense to everyone? It is a very important function.
Sir, you have used only a mean, right? Can we use more than one?
What?
More than, you have calculated mean, right?
Yeah.
Can we calculate other standard deviation as in the same function?
Yeah. Same. Here you write the SD delay. Name if you want to change. I'm not changing the name in the column. Okay, it is the name will be shown here. Okay.
Okay.
Before this equals. So
Two
if
columns,
you, if
sir.
you
I am
want to use the
asking
SD,
mean
you could
as well
write
as
here
standard
SD.
deviation.
Standard SD you write here, or you write here SD if you want to
Mean
change.
and standard deviation, sir. Both. Two columns.
Achha, okay. 2 column. No problem. Either we should use the. I just see it whether it works or not. Uh,
It is giving instruction that could not find the function. This data is not available, sir. Data set flights not found.
H flights. So you run that library.
And
H
library dip layer I have done. Library.
No. Library H flights also run. Are you getting on this my screen?
It is giving a warning message. The package HFlight was built under R version 4.0.3.
It is a warning message only. No?
Yes, sir. Warning.
No
message.
problem for that. You run it. Library. Run the library. You see.
Library HFlights only I have clicked. Then data flights I have to click.
Then you run this one.
Then view HFlights.
Okay. Getting it or not?
Not got, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Now I got. Thank you. I got, sir.
Okay. Thanks. Good. Now we see I'm doing this with some that. Mm, I try this. We could get this one. I just okay. I will show you. We have a various entries in the destination of a different DFW. Here you see the destination, and there are you see in the DFW this destination we have a arrival delay. You see -7, -1. So it will group these all values as per this destination DFW and add on this and divide by n. Now whatever the value it will get here, that mean we will get over there in the summary when we summarize it. Okay. I use one more option. I use summarize. There is a function summarize. We have 2-3 functions. Not even summarize include average delay object arrival not found. Arrival delay not found. Okay. Group by destination. We are getting these two only. We are getting these two column only here. Not get that third one. We are getting here two columns. So we are not getting a arrival delay again. Because the size has changed now. Size has changed because arrival delay only once we could use that column and so here the size is 116 only. But in arrival delay, you see we have observation to 227,496. So it is not there in this data set now. So it will not work again. Okay, I will look at this, what we could give for that multiple summary. So I just see summarize. I have taken somewhere only. I just use only once the summarize. We have done this. And, after this, it should work if I'm writing the average delay because we are using the same average delay. If I write here, it should work. I see what happens now.
మా డాడీ నీతో మాట్లాడుతున్నారు.
I just do it.
మా అమ్మ చెప్పడమే.
Okay, it's working. It's working.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Generally, we have to just put the comma because we could not take the another summarize because if we have summarize here, the number of rows will change. It will not apply later on in the summarize. In the same summarize function, we have to apply it. Okay. Average delay, standard delay, and whatever you could put there. Okay. So it is there. We could do in this way also. And now for each day of the year, count the total number of flights. Every day the multiple flights come and take off from the airport, and sort in descending order. Here one more function we are using, the descending order. We are sorting it. No? So total number of flights we are counting. So flights is our data, and group by month and day of month. Every day. Every day means for every day we have to use the month and the day of the month. So the 1st January, then 2nd January. So we will get 365. It is the 2011. So it is not a leap year. So we will get the 365 observations. And then we summarize the flight count, how many flights take off or and that particular each day. It is the n. N is the number, automatically it will take n. N is a function. Then as we are using the mean, we were using SD. Here we are using n. N is for the counting. And then pipe 2, I want to arrange them in descending order. Maximum, then minimum in this way. With this flight count. Flight count we will get daily basis, and we arrange that flight count in a descending order. Does that make sense to everyone? If I run up to here only, I will not get the descending order if I run up to here. Okay, I run up to here, I will show you. So it is not in a descending order. It is if I run the up to now here, so I will get that in descending 706, and this way I will get. Is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
So that is the difference only for this line. Yeah. Rewrite more simply with a tally function. This thing we could do with the tally function also. The tally function will remove these two lines, summarize and arrange. So we group by month and day of month, then tally sort true. So if I run this, so I'm getting in this way, descending order. If I don't write sort true, I just put the blank. I will get in a normal. Okay. So that is the thing. You could use it. Then
Sir,
for each
for ascending
Sir,
order, how
yes,
to
sir.
get, sir?
for ascending order.
order.
Ascending order, there is a tally. We don't have that, but I will see in the syntax, the tally. If there is ascending order, they have given some. Sort files, and if true will show the largest group at the top. Okay. Or basically it is a false, it will give the arrangement is per that name. Tally, we don't have that function for the ascending. Okay. We have only the largest group at the top for true. We don't have that. Okay. We don't have this here. At that moment, what you have to do, you will not use the tally. You will use this concept. You remove the descending. Okay. If I remove this descending and I run this, It is the ascending order. If I just write the arrange, got it?
Yes, sir.
We could not apply the tally over there. Tally we could apply only for the descending one. Okay, for ascending we will use this complete method, summarize then arrange. If you want in the descending order, you use your descending. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Now, for each destination, so for each destination, whenever you see the each destination and each month, that we have to group. So each destination means we have to group the destination. Count the total number of flights. So the flight underscore count is the object name, the column name I am giving, and the for counting that, and I am counting and how many times this destination. So it will count the flight automatically. How many times the destination come, it will count the flight come and the takeoff. And the plane count, for the plane count, how many plane? The plane always will be count through the tail name, tail number. So and distinct function I will use for that, and distinct for the tail number, the distinct tail number, different tail numbers. Okay, so I will run this, then you could better understand. You see the flight count on the ABQ destination 2812, and the plane which works over there 716. So it multiple flights used there. Okay, in the whole year. 1282 here, the 215 plane, and the only one plane will go AGS.
Sir, n underscore distinct means distinct count, right?
Distinct plane tail number,
Okay.
different tail number. There are 716 plane comes with a different tail number, and they come multiple times. So this figure is the total flight count is the 281. In the whole year, they came weekly. Some plane come on the month, once in a month, tail number. In this way, thrice in a month. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And for each destination, show the number of cancelled and non-cancelled flights. So there is a column 0 and 1 only in the cancelled and not cancelled. You see that these are the cancelled. 0 is a not cancelled. 1 is a cancelled. So whenever you will see the 0, there is a no cancellation code because the flight has not been cancelled. Whenever you see the 1, you see the why the flight has cancelled. And because the flight is not cancelled, there is no reason. If the flight is cancelled, then there is a reason. Understand this? This flight is cancelled, so there is no taxi in and no taxi out. There is no departure delay, there is no arrival delay. Is it clear to all?
Yes, sir.
So why we are getting somewhere missing values? And that is not basically a missing. You could not fill this missing value. Sometimes people do. Oh, arrival delay. How many missing values are there? We find out the mean of this and fill this. Why you should fill this? Because there were no flight. Flight was cancelled. Understand this thing? Got it?
Yes, sir.
Then we have to use the attribute na.rm equal to true. Whenever, whatever the analysis we will use, we will write that attribute over there in that syntax or that function. na.rm equal to true. So don't do this sort of mistakes. So if there is missing, that is a missing due to some reason. Understand? The flight was cancelled, so there is a no taxi in and taxi out, and no other things would be, so many things would not be there. There not be a air time, there not be a departure time. The flight was not there. Got it? Other things maybe the other variables name, what are the fixed, it would be there. Flight number was there and the unique area, it is okay. That flight was the unique area. tail number was that. Is there any doubt? No, it's clear to everyone.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Whenever we get a data, we take 2 to 3 days to understand the data. Only understanding. We have to familiar with the data, whatever data we get. Sometimes it takes 1 week to make the understanding with data only. Then we start the working on that. No, data preparation and everything. Then we start after 1 week, after 3 days. First we understand the data. Many times we see the data and see the descriptions, what they have given to us for data, everything. We understand the data. The big data, there are so many things, so we have to get some, we have to get some time to understand. So what we are doing here, each destination, the group by destination, that is okay. So the number of cancelled and not cancelled flight. So select cancelled. We will select the column cancelled, and we will make a table. Table means cancelled. If I make a table for that cancelled, I will show you the table for flights dollar cancel. Is 0 and 1 I am getting. Means 2,973 flights cancelled all over the year. Okay, it is showing. So I will get a table for destination wise. In this destination, this much cancelled, this much not cancelled. The 0 and 1, 2 column I will get over with the destination. And I am just showing you the head of this. The head means the first 6 observation I will show you. So it is the 0 and 1 cancel. Got it? So we select the cancel and we have create a table for that 0 and 1 in this way, which I have shown you here. It is as per the each destination. It is for the total. Is there any doubt? Okay. Now, in the next one, for each month means you have to take the column of month only. I am not talking about the each day. If I am talking about the date, then the month column and the day column is compulsory. Okay, day of the month and month. Here each month. So I will take only the month column, group by month. Calculate the number of flights and change from the previous month. That is very important. I will show you some lake function in here. So summarize flight count. This you know already. We have done earlier also. Now another column I am making, which is a change. That column name I am giving the change. It is a muted. Muted means we are making a new column. Okay, with the help of previous columns. This is the flight count. I have a column, but I am taking late flight count. So late means the previous flight count, and the late flight count, it means the previous flight count. It will subtract and give me that number. Leg and previous one in this way. So I will just show you, then you could better understand. In the first one, there is no previous flight count entry, so it will give me any. Now 17128 minus 18910, I will get minus 178. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I will subtract this, I will get it. I will subtract this from this, I will get it. Any doubt?
Sir, if there are some missing flight, then the change
I
will be
will take 17128 minus 18910. 910. It is the change. Change means leg function will only leg means the previous one here. So flight count and its previous one is this one, this flight count. Okay. So if I run this, you will see what I get. Minus 1782 I am getting. Does that make sense to you? No? From this, I will subtract this, I will get this. Yeah. Any doubt? This
Yeah.
leg function is very, very important. It will give us the previous one. Okay. So flight count minus previous flight count and previous and row flight count. That is the change. What is the change here? On the month, first day in the month, the first month, sorry, in the first month, there are 12 months. We are grouped by month. In the first month, there were 18910 flight because we have got the data from the January itself. So we are not getting anything here change. In the second month, we have got these flights. Okay, total flights were this. So from that airport, okay, arrival and departure of the. So this much, and that is this. And here, this flight, this, and the fourth month it was it. So which month it increases? In the month of March, it increases the flight, increases in the month of the March. Okay. Because there is a vacation. The flight number increases. Here also in the month of December, because of the Christmas, the flight is increased. Understand? Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
So we could see it's not a just we are making the group by. We are analyzing it group by. Doing this group by, we are also understanding. We are doing the descriptive analysis through this. Descriptive analysis is not only that we are getting the mean and everything. We are also getting the some conclusion from here. Okay. We have another function, tally we could use for this. So tally we are using for summarize. Instead of summarize, I am using tally. And then mutate I am change is the same, and n and log leg n. That is the same thing, but I will get the same result. No problem. I will get the same result. But the technique is different. I am using the tally instead of summarize. Now we all know how to see the structure of the data. Everybody knows the str we use to see the structure of the data. And the dplyr, we know we use the glimpse. Okay, this I have explained here. Somebody asked me in the hand, so I have written here. And okay. It was only that. Now I will show you when we do the predictive analysis, when we prepare a machine learning model. Then we divide the data in two parts. You know, whatever the data we get, there is a y variable, also the target variable we also get over there. So if we make a model with the whole data, then how we will test it? It should have, they will give us, they will in future, they will give us the test data again, but without y. So how could you find out the accuracy? If you don't have y, you could not compare your prediction and the actual y. You don't have and the test data, what they provide you later on. They have just given you some data. In that data, you partition the data in two parts. Understand? So one is the training, and some people like it test also. Some like the validity VL. Here I am using as a test and trend, but basically it is a validation. Okay, it is not a test, it is a validate. VAL we could write. We validate the model. So whenever we divide the data, we divide it randomly. And here the empty cast data, everybody knows there are 32 observations. And out of that, the 70% I want in S. That is the row index I will get only in the S. I will not get the whole columns over there. Because I am writing here the 1:n row empty cars. So I run this first set sheet and then I run this. And I will show you if S. So you will see these observations I have got in the this S. 70%, 31 observations, 15 observations, 19 observations. We have the 32 observations. We have got this observation. And if I show you the class of this, then you see it is an integer class. Just I have got the row index. Now I want the whole data as per this index. So what I will do, I will write the empty underscore train. This is the object name for the training data. And this is I am getting from the empty cars, and these rows I am taking as rows. As rows, 31, 15, and these all. So I am writing on before comma, and after comma I will keep it blank, so I will get all the columns of the empty cars related to these rows. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I am getting the columns, rows. I am getting the rows randomly. I am not getting the first 70% rows for the training and the remaining for the validation. So this is my training data set. If I show you the class of this pen, so it is also, now it is a data frame. Previously it was a vector. It was a numeric vector, or we could say it is showing the index. Integer vector. Sorry. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, I am doing for the validation. Validation, I will not use the S, this index. I use the index which are not in S. So not in S, there is a whatever the index would be there, the one number and the whatever the. So it will come here remaining 30%. Does that make sense to you? Instead of S, I am using writing here minus S. So the which are the index we have used in the S will not be here. Here will be which we have not used in the S. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay. And I run this. So I am getting here 10 observations with 11 variables and 22 observations and 11 variables in the training and validation. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay. Got it?
Sir,
Yes,
S
sir.
is the object name.
Hmm?
S is the object name, right? So,
S is a vector we have, vector of indexing of the rows.
okay. Sir.
So as per that indexing, we are using all the column of the empty cars. Only those index which we have selected here. In A. We have taken the same. Got it? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Sometimes we have a very few rows and we increase the number of rows. Bootstrap. So I am using the here same 1:n empty cars, but 100 times I am taking the 100. I am taking the 100. We have the 32 only. I am taking the 100 replacement true. So I will show you these empty cars. Bootstrap. There are 100 observations I have now. The duplicate rows is that created. The same rows, you see the Cauchy You see the flow sheet, everything is same. But it is, we don't take this. It is the duplicate data we remove from our data frame always. It is, we use in some critical cases we apply. Now, this has been completed about the filter, and we have seen the select, mutate, summarize. These functions we have covered over there. Now we have some other functions, which is the gather, unite, separate, and spread. Separate and spread. So I will explain you one by one. There is, we will use some other library. This is the tidier. This you have to install first, tidier. Install this library, then import this library. So we run this library first, tidier, and I'm writing here some other name. It is the, for the international client I have written this name, because the mostly I write the Indian names. Here I have write the Wilbur and Petunia and Grocery. They were sometimes my participants. So I have used those names. So the international participant could understand. So I am making a data frame whose name is Messi, and I could write any name. And three persons are there, three patients, you could say. These are the name of the patient. And these are the heartbeats, heart rate, 67, 80, 64. And these are the treatment given by us. A treatment, if we give, their heart rate is this, and if we provide the B treatment, the heart rate is this. And if I show you name A treatment and after B treatment, got it?
Yes, sir.
If I give this tablet, so they have this, and if I give this tablet, so they have this changes in their heart rate, controls in this. Okay. Now I am going to gather it. What is gather? Gather means we have to collect the thing. We have to collect the thing. Uh, uh, we have to minimize the number of columns. There are three columns. Okay. So I want only two columns. Okay. Not the two. Gather means I will make a three column, but gather I will A and the B treatment, whatever the tablet I am going to give, I want in the one column, that A, B both drug. So this drug is would be a new column instead of AB. Instead of AB, this is to B. And heart rate would be these values. These are the heart rates column, will be another column for the heart rates. So I just make it, then you could better understand. Got it? The name will repeat again because the A tablet Wilbur and the B tablet we are giving to Wilbur, and we are getting this heart rate. It is the gathering. We are gathering it. We are gathering it. Somebody asked me about if we have the more, we could convert the column in the category. So you see, I have converted this in category. Yesterday, someone asked me. Okay. So this is the transformation of data. Understand?
Yes, sir.
This is the transformation of data. As per our requirement, we could transform the data. Okay. For this, we have gathered it and we could spread it also. We could spread it also. So I will show you the spread. Spread means the same thing I will get written. So I have written somewhere later on spread. Unite and separate. Separate is a different thing and spread is a different. Gather and spread is spread. I use here spread. I have not saved it. If I show you the Messi, then I will get the previous one. I save it. The Messi again. Okay, if I run this, now I will run the Messi, I will get the new one. Okay, got it? So I spread it. Spread. And what data I want to spread. That is a drug I want to spread. And the key. I will put a key also. So data is drug, I think. So key would be that, no? Key would be that. And here I will spread the heart rate. Just a moment, I see it. The data key value. These three are the main attributes. Key column of the or positions the past to tidies the values disarming passed by the extent of support. You can unquote column names or column position. Okay. Just a moment, I see the spread variable value. Right. I have written it, but where where is that? Spread. Spread. What was our previous? AB. Okay. So the data is our data is drug. And value is heart rate. I see what happens. Okay. It is the spread. I have spread it again. So it is the drug. Drug is what? Drug we have this column. This we want to spread. A and B. I want to do this A, B. I want to spread this thing. Got it? Any doubt? I will show you. Yeah. I have this drug I want to spread A and B in this form. So I will write this drug first and the value which I want to fill here. These are the values. So then I will write the value. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, if there's 3 treatment types, should what
We'll get the
we should
3 automatically. We will get 3. Yeah.
then we want to separate it by semicolon A, B, C in this syntax.
A to C we will get here automatically.
Okay.
Or we could use the C also, combine vector. I will tell you later on. There is some more. I am using here sample, so I am taking the set sheet. Here also I am taking given the name Messi. The Messi data basically. Data frame ID 1 to 4. Treatment sample control and treated is 2 times. Work time 1, shift 1 at this is the shift. T1 is the work shift, home shift, work shift, home shift. R uniform I am taking 4 times. R uniform distribution. In the uniform distribution, in default we get the value between 0 and 1. Okay. So I run this and I will show you this message. So you will get that this is the treatment. Okay. This is a sample, so it will come in this one. The work TI, home TI, work TI, home TI, T1, in this one. Now I am gathering it. I have gathered here. Same thing I am doing here. I am gathering it. I am gathering it. What we have done here, we have used for the gathering. What we have done here, when we had no column like drug, but we have A and B. So I have given new column name to that AB drug, and then we have write on the third place, and the second place we have put the value column heart rate. So this will go here at the end. So here you see what I am doing, key and time. These are the time. Okay, or I am giving a key name, new name, key for this work T1, work home T1, work T2. In this way, it will come on the T1. And the time will be a new column along with that. So, but ID and treatment, I don't want to be like this. I don't want this to be as a gather. So, what column I will get? I explain you first. You could better understand. I will get the ID as it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 in this way. It will repeat again and again. Treatment would be same. It will be repeat as per the ID. But here I will use one key column where I will get this work T1, work dot T1. And here I will get the home dot T1 for the first, work dot T1 for the, if I write the second, so it is the work T1 for second. Got it? Then work T1 for third and work T1 for, and sorry, T1 for T1.
Sir, why you have used minus ID and minus TRT?
I don't want to use this in this way. I don't want to group this out. This would be as it is. I don't want to involve this here
So
in this way.
excluding that, right?
Excluding that. What it? So
Yes,
I am in the key. I am taking only this. I am gathering this in the key, the column name. Column name will automatically gather in the key. So which column name? The remaining this, because this I have taken minus. So it will not involve. So automatically these column names will be involved. Got it?
yes, sir.
Okay. And the time, new column will be for the time, and time will be this. As we have taken the heart rate, the same, these all values we will get here. So if I show you, then you could better understand. clear it and remove this also. So I will show you, then you could better understand how does it work. I will show you. I have given the new name tidy. What it? Any doubt? More practice required for this. Okay. Now what I am doing, I am spreading it again. So I am spreading the key and value is the time. What it? I will get the same thing again. I have gathered it. I have spread it. So two examples we have taken for gather and spread. First was this one, art rate, and second I have given to you this one. Okay. I have taken a small example so you could understand better way. Okay. Now we see separate and unite. These two functions we understand, separate and unite. Spread and gather we have completed. Now separate and unite. I will show you what is separate. The same data I am taking, but I am taking this one. I will take this one, not this one. I will take this one. Which one? This one. I'm taking this idea. Okay. Here I will change. Here I will separate. I will separate work and time. This I want to separate. This key column I want to separate in two parts. I'm not spreading it. I am separating it. So we are separating in a column. We are making two columns. From one column, we are making two columns. Does that make sense to everyone? In the one column, we will get the work and home. In the second column, we will get T1, T2, whatever we have. What it? Other remains same. So how we'll do it? So separate which column? Key column. So I will write the key and I want to separate into, then I will divide in two parts. So I have to give the new name. So first name I am giving the location, that is the work or home, and the shift. Shift is the T1 and T2 shift. Does that make sense to everyone?
Sir.
And whenever it will be separated by this dot. How it will be separated? Wherever the dot, it will separate. It will give in two parts. But if I write only this dot without this double slash, so I will show you what will happen. It will not give me. So for dot only, for dot, if there is some hyphen or other thing, you just write the hyphen. You just write the percentage symbol is there for the separation. You write the percentage. But for dot, we require two backward slash. Then you write dot. If you are separating it from the dot, anywhere, not only here. In the paste function also, if you use the separator, if you use the dot only, it will not work. You have to use their double backward slash and then dot. Okay, only for dot I have seen that. I have searched so many so many places when I was doing this. So I have been puzzled for 2 or 3 days. Then I got this. My dot could not apply separately in quotes. Okay. So if I run this now, you will see what happens. Now we got it. Oh, sorry. I have to run it again. I have run on the previous one. So I will run that again. Which one? Where is it? Where is it? This one. I have to run this one. This one is my, and then I have to convert this. On this I have to apply now. So I will apply now. Now you see. Getting it? Location and shift separated. Now any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. So it has changed now. So it is the separate the column. Spread means it is changing the transform the data frame basically. Row to column and column and the values. It is just separate the one column in two column or the three columns, whatever you want. The opposite of separate is the unite. As we have seen, the opposite of gather is the spread. Similarly, opposite of unite is the separate, or separate opposite is the unite, vice versa. Again, I want to add on this too with the dot separator. Here I don't require that double forward backward slash. Here, when I am going to separate it, then it is required. So the new column name, what I want to give, key column, key name, and which column I want to merge, I want to unite, location and shift. Location is the work home and the shift is the T1, T2. And after united, what separator I want between them. So I want a dot separator between them. So I just run this and I will show you this step one. You will see again I have got that. Is there any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. Here I have used that spread also again, but no, sometimes you have to work with the time, date time. And for that, in the R, we have to use a library lubridate. Okay. There is a library lubridate. The R default pattern of date, which are follows. That is, I will show you. First I run this. And this is the date in a single quote. 2011, 6th month and 4th day. So it is in this format, YMD. So the R format is the YMD. Year, month, day. And if we are including the time, hours, minutes, second. Larger unit to smaller unit. Okay. So I run this and I will get, this is the basic format of R. 2000 year hyphen month hyphen day. So whenever you have a date, that pattern you have to understand, that you have to write the outside. It will automatically convert that pattern in this pattern. Here we have, I have 6 month, 4th day and 2011. So I have to write this pattern outside. It will automatically convert to YMD. I have to write this pattern. So automatically it has converted. This is the day, month and year. So I will write this pattern here outside. Which pattern is this? And I run this, it will convert in year, month and day. Got it?
Hello, sir.
Got it?
Yes,
Automatically it will
Yes, sir.
convert. Now,
Sir, it means manually we have to enter the dates.
yeah, manually we could enter.
Sir,
But sometimes we have
I
a
have
data
a
frame.
question.
Suppose we have a data frame, they have a different format.
Okay.
And then we have to run the library for that particular variable. Because in the time series analysis,
Yeah.
like when you don't convert them in R format, then it will not work. Got it?
Hello, sir.
Yes. So, sir, we directly write the function mdy or ymd.
Now,
directly.
whatever the format they have given, you write just that, and it automatically convert in R format.
Okay.
Just you have to, once you have to run only that,
Okay.
then it will convert automatically, then you work on it.
Hello,
Okay.
sir. Please, I have a question.
Now I am giving you some more things.
Sir,
about-
I have one doubt. Suppose we have a timestamp data column. Can we extract the date from it?
Yeah. You could extract the date from it.
Sir, please, I have a question.
Yeah.
Sir,
Yeah, Olive, you are asking some question.
yes.
Your voice
have-
is not, it is very low voice here. Yeah.
Actually, we have a column. In that column, we have different dates.
Your voice is not clear. Very, I'm not. Please you
Sir,
be loud, or you write on the chat box so I could better understand what you are asking. We are not getting your voice.
I'm writing on the chat box now.
I am unable to understand what you are telling me. We are not getting your voice properly. Write on the better, write in the chat box so I could
Okay, sir.
write on the chat box. It's a bit. Now we see the one YMD underscore HMS over minute second. So this format is given to us. This is the same format we have to write the outside always. Sir, if you have a column with a different date, how to use the date package to convert all the date with a single code. Okay. I will explain that also.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Good question. Good question. We will explain that. So if we have this, and first we have to make one vector for that. I must just make a vector, then I could explain that. You see here, I have given a different, got it? Different pattern is there.
Yes, sir.
Getting it?
Yes, sir.
Oliver,
Yes, I'm with you, sir.
are,
I'm with
are you
you, sir.
getting it? So just
Yes,
the
sir.
parse that parse underscore date underscore time, and that is the variable name. Okay, whatever the variable name here, the vector here, there would be in the data frame, there would be a variable name, and then just write the in a vector form, combine %y, %m, %d. I will explain you this sequentially so you could better understand. And this function, if I follow that, I will just show you the output. You could better understand. Now you see, I've got in the same format all the things.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I will explain you this one.
Okay, sir.
we are here. This is the format we have and the time zone, Pacific Auckland. So I run this arrival and I will show you the arrival. So it is like that. It is the time zone. Automatically it is given me the time zone, the universal time zone. And leave, arrive and leave. If I write this and if I run this, and I got it. Okay. Now the second of arrive, I want to know. The second is 00, you see. So what I will get the 0. I want to change this. That is the simple thing. You write the equal to 25, so it will, the second would be 25 now. Now it has changed. Second has changed. Okay. Now I again want to do the 0. So it, now again it is 0. Okay. And working day arrive. Weekday, sorry, not working day, weekday. It's the 7th day. 7th day means 7th day means yeah, Saturday. The last day is the Saturday. The week starts from Monday. Okay. And the weekday arrival label true. So I will show you. It will show me the label also. Saturday. Okay. What it? Label is equal to true. I have written. So it will give me the Saturday and also give me the labels. The Sunday, first, second, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Got it? Suppose I have a meeting. They have given me this, that time and as per the Pacific Auckland time zone. So I have this meeting. If I see in my mail, so I get this time they have given to me. And I want to convert this in my Indian time. And my Indian time when it will be held. So I just write with underscore time zone, TJ for the time zone. There is we have on the net we could see the time zone for all the places. We will get there everything. So here for the India, Asia, Calcutta, I am writing. So this all information you will get on the net. What we have to write, Asia, Calcutta, not India, Calcutta. Okay. This is as per the Pacific Ocean, Asia, in this way the subcontinent there, Pacific, and in this way they have given to us. You see, it is the 2:30 IST. What it? Automatically it had converted. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Indian time. Leap underscore year. 2000 year. 11 is a leap year? No. Okay. I just write it. So it will say it is false. It is not a leap year. If I write here 12, then it would be a leap year. 2012. Because it will be divided by 4. Understand? And here the YMD 201101 and this I have given the 2011 first month, month year, and the D years 1. I am adding the 1 year after 2001, D years 1. So you'll see what happens. Here I am getting 2012 1 January 2012. After 1 year I am getting. It is not a leap year, 2011. See, I am writing the D years 1 year later. Then I will get this 1/1/2012 at 6. Got it? UTC. It is the UTC time. If I write only years 1, then see what happens. It is after 1 year I am getting the date of next January. But here you see, I am getting the date of 1 January 2012. The same. Here I am getting the time also. If I write DS, if I don't write the DS, then I will get the date of. Okay. If I take 2012, here I have taken the 2011, which was not a leap year. Here it is a leap year. It will say the truth. And in the leap year, if I am using a DS1, then see what happens. What it is giving me? It is taking me to next year first day. No, it is the last year this day. So it is taking the day wise, 365 days. It is not passing the whole year. It is passing the 365 days. I will get 31st after 365, 366 day, or that would be a 31st December in the leap year. Understand?
Yes, sir.
But if I write by years 1, then it will pass me to next year, not 365 days. It will pass me to next year, the 1st January 2013. Got me? Got you? It is for the day wise, 365 days will be passed. Here we are passing the whole year. Whether it is leap year or not leap year, it does not think so. It's just the next year first day. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we see the pass underscore date underscore time. It is the 1/12 January. So it is the day, then year, and then B. B is for the month we have written in this way. Jan. Okay. So if I run this, see what happens. I'm getting 2012 first month of the January and the first day UTC. I'm getting. Here I'm writing the percent day, percent year, percent B, and percent I, percent M, percent B. So it is for the hour, it is for the minute, and it is for the second. So you see what I get. The second is not there, so it would take 0, 0. Okay. So this is the thing we have to use for this parse that time. Okay. You see, we have a for the vectors also we could use this function. Okay, YMD. If I run this and I could use the YMD, so I'm getting this, and if I use in this way, I'm getting the same. If I use in this way, I'm getting the same. There is no difference. If I write this in code, YMD only, so I'm getting it. Okay. Because this is a YMD format. So I could apply it, but it is in this format, then we have to follow this one. But there is a hyphen you see in between. And here is not Python, then there is a column in the timing. I will show you more also. Heterogeneous formats, we are the percent Y, percent M, percent D, and the percent Y, percent M, percent D. And two formats we have. We have the this one and this one. So we have mentioned only these two. Okay. So in this way we could do this thing. Okay. So this is the lubricate we have covered today also. And we have finished this data preparation part. And you have to do more practice on this. And again and again, we have to practice, and you could keep this script yourself. So you could, in future, if it is required, you could refer it. Tomorrow we start the inferential analysis. We see the tomorrow we see the theory of inferential analysis. We see so many things in the inferential analysis. The theoretical part is very long part there. And the day after tomorrow we study about, we work with that. Okay. The theory is very important in the inferential analysis. Without theory, the syntax is very simple in the hypothesis testing. Yeah, just as we find out the mean, a similar type of syntax is over there for t-test. You just write down the t.test and write down the variable name and the confidence level what you require. But just that thing, it clears the paired data, unpaired data. But this theory we should know. What is the independent sample? What is the dependent sample? And what we do for that? So that is very important. Tomorrow we'll understand the theoretical part, and later on tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, and we finally work with R. If one more day required, then we will continue for the Friday also. Okay. If we see the course is not has been completed, so we will continue till Friday. Don't worry. We will finish the complete course. Is there any doubt, anything somebody wants to tell? Python workshop we are going to plan, but it may be in the next month. Mukherjee, are you there, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It is over to you.
So basically, I'm here to tell you that R3 is starting from Monday. So those who are interested, that I see that many of you have filled the form, but still have not confirmed the seat, So you need to confirm that seat. Otherwise, that R3 will be not open course. It will be closed course. So you have to confirm the seat. I have last time even I have asked how many of you are interested. So many of you have taken interest to go for R3. So I just want to I mean that my request is that just confirm the seat as quick as possible, right? So how many of you are really interested for R3? R3 course fees is 3,000 rupees in Indian currency. INR 3,000 rupees, and in USD it is I think 50. Yes, it is 50 USD. R3. So how many days, sir? It will be 10 days. It will be 10 days workshop, and it will be advanced course. It will be not like a normal course. It will be advanced course. So only specific people will be doing that. So you already covered our intermediate now. Only 2 more days left. Uh, I mean that I will not say even 2 days. Tomorrow is last day, sir.
No, sir. Tomorrow, no. We have to up to Friday. Friday it will finish.
Okay, so we have extended till Friday for you.
Yeah, one day we have.
1 day extended. So I mean that likewise it may be not finished in 10 days, then we have to extend in 11 days, 12 days.
Yeah.
The idea
The
is
advance
that
also sometimes extended.
its idea is that all of you get the things what you're supposed to get. That is the main thing. So I kindly request all of you, those who are interested, how many of you are really interested to do the R3? Be honest. How many of you want to do R3? Those who want to do R3, just type yes.
Yes, sir, Alka this side.
Yeah.
I'm interested, but if from in Europe, they say they change the time like from 25th of the October. So 1 hours is different. So I
Yeah.
will check my routine on Sunday, then I will confirm on Sunday.
Okay. Okay. See,
Yeah,
normally,
thank you.
right now, what is the time difference there?
There is 4 hour 30 minutes. India
Okay.
is ahead. Like we are delay from the 4 hour 30 minute.
Yes. Yes. So I
And
think 1 more hours will be added or reduced. What? Which?
it added like basically it is started. It's 3:30 in previous day. Now, if I consider nowadays, it will be started 2:30 in
Okay.
day, like in my days here. So
So
it is
five and
like
a half hours then, rather than 4.5 hours will be 5.5, right?
yeah, around 4 hour 30 minutes, around 5 hours. Yeah.
Okay.
So it is the peak time of office. So I just check it if possible. Then I will confirm on
Okay.
Sunday,
Oh, oh.
and it will be like 7 o'clock in evening India time.
Yes, 7. Same batch will be converted into R3,
Okay.
and
Okay.
even the R2 is repeating on Monday. Monday 5 o'clock R2 will be start. So next
Okay.
week there won't be any foundation program starting. Next week it will be starting R2 again
Mm-hmm.
because there's a lots of demand to do R2 again.
Yeah, it's
So the
very
people who are not
early.
able to join this workshop, so
Mm-hmm.
they are, so we are starting R2 again on Monday. So if you guys want to repeat, you can repeat it.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And R3 will be 7 to 9.
Yes, sir.
So I see that Lasantani is interested, R. Vijay is interested, Chetan is interested, Shelly is interested. 4 participants I can see. Alka is interested. 5 participants. So others are not doing R3. We will share you the R2 Zoom link. We'll share you for next week. So R3, if you are interested, make sure that fill the form as quick as possible. All right, that is my thing. Rest, it's up to you. You want to take break or you want to do it later. That is up to you. But it will be paid program, right? It will, we will not expecting anybody in that pre course, in that advanced course. So so that we can be very much I mean that focus on the each participants, right? Topics
Yes.
in R3, you can just check our R3 post. You go to the R3 post and you can just check the form there. When you click on the link, all the course curriculum is there. In each form, whenever you click on the form, you will see that all the course curriculum mentioned there. Even sir can explain. Sir, what will be covered in R3?
R3, we will cover the predictive modeling, the linear regression, logistic regression, regularization, and segmentation and clustering. 4 units we will cover over there with the very complex data, not the simple data. And there are lots of data preparation would be involved there. So whatever you have learned here in the data preparation, we have to apply those things in the R3. And
Sir,
yeah,
yeah, sir, like which you have mentioned right now, the list of the topic in R3, this is also related with machine learning.
this is the machine learning starts with the linear
Okay,
regression. With
okay,
the
sir.
our advance is starts the machine learning.
Okay,
Also,
sir.
some inferential we also use linear regression in the inferential analysis, but it is the machine learning part starts from there.
Okay, sir.
So
Thank
ANOVA
you.
will also be dealt here.
ANOVA will be taught in this session itself with the that hypothesis testing inferential analysis. Day tomorrow and the day after tomorrow we will cover it. That is the inferential analysis ANOVA is. Okay, it will be covered in the same in this R2 ANOVA.
Okay, sir. Let's connect tomorrow again.
Okay, okay.
All right. Have a nice evening. Bye bye. Take care.
Okay,
Okay,
bye
sir.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, sir.
Bye. Bye.